All right, here we go. SicEm365 Radio. Paul Catalina, Craig and David Smoak. Also today, we are joined by George Maile. He's from Bingham High School, 4-star offensive lineman, visited Baylor, and had himself one heck of a time. There's stuff where he's playing a game with Zach Pyron, the Alabama quarterback, among many others, having a big meal with Siaka Ika, and so much more. And George joins us on SicEm365 Radio. I saw that meal you were sharing or eating. How many lobster tails did you eat?
I had about like 4.
What else? What else other than the lobster tails?
Chicken tenders and a s'more.
Okay.
Yeah, I had a bunch.
You know, I talked to your football coach, Dave Peck, at Bingham, and he had been there for a long, long time, retired and came back. He loved you to death. He told me so many good things about you. He said that there was no doubt that you had just the best time ever on your trip to Baylor, and you've been recruited by many people. Can you kind of explain the weekend for not just you, but also your family at Baylor?
It was a really good experience. I loved everything about Baylor. They got like a top business program, and that's what I'm going to study in, major in. I really want to play in Coach Mateos and Coach Grimes' offense. I think I feel well. I'm fit good in their schemes, and
George,
yeah, I had an unbelievable time.
George, were they recruiting you, Coach Grimes and Mateos? Were you on their radar when they were at Brigham Young?
Yeah, when they were at BYU, Coach Mateos offered me there. Then when he moved to Baylor, he offered me from Baylor. So he gave me 2 scholarships.
Did you? I mean, obviously, you know, they were a big draw for you. Did you want to get away from home a little bit? Is that one of the draws as well to come to a different state and experience something different?
Yeah, that was one of my goals to get out of Utah. So go to out of school thing. Cool.
So what is Siaki or Apu like? He seems, since we've met him a few months ago when he arrived, to be just quite the character. We know he's a singer. What was he like on your visit, getting to know him, or did you know him a little bit before that?
I knew him before that because me and him, we went to different high schools, each in Bingham, and we're rivals.
Okay.
So it was good to know him. He's a really cool guy. He's fun. And yeah.
You big smile, friendly. Zach Pyron, the quarterback, as you know, the commit to Baylor from Alabama. He told me you and him hit it off really, really well. I don't know if he actually got a hold of you earlier today or not, but he was excited. But I have to find out who won the Connect 4 game.
I beat him 2 times. Yeah, and he hasn't beat me since.
So you beat him twice, and he has not yet beaten you.
Yeah. And I also beat Coach Aranda's daughter.
Oh,
cool.
Throwing down a little bit more with that, too. Okay.
Well, see, George is just proving what all the former linemen know, is that linemen are the smartest people in the team, and quarterbacks get all the glory. But the linemen are the smartest guys, right, George? Yeah. See, he knows.
George Maile from Bingham High School, our guest on SicEm365 Radio. Now, what did it mean to you today to be named the overall pie leader at Bingham High in football?
Oh, man, it's been one of my goals ever since I first came in at Bingham. It was when Coach Peck said I was the guy, I was just so excited and happy.
You want to explain what pie leader means?
So PIE, P for passion, I for integrity, and E for effort. The overall pie leader is like the team captain of the team, and they usually lead the team on and off the field.
Well, that's all. It's kind of like being a captain, huh?
Yeah.
And this was after you came back, and you were immediately right into it earlier today after you had been in Waco?
Yeah, right when I got back, we had practice today, and then he named the leader. And then he named me overall pie leader.
That's awesome. Good for you. That's fantastic.
So, George, was this your first trip to Texas, or had you been here before, and what were your thoughts on being here?
It was my 3rd time. I've been to San Antonio, I've been to Fort Worth, Texas, and then this is my first time going to Waco.
Okay. So
it was so fun. I love Texas so much.
What is it about Texas that you like so much?
Country music. I'm a big country guy. The food up there. and just everything's bigger out there and the people out there.
All right, who's your favorite country singer?
Alan Jackson, George Strait. I think he's from Texas.
Oh, yeah, he's the king of Texas.
Yeah, he's the king.
Yeah, that's a good name. That's a good name to pick.
Whenever I listen to his songs out there, it just feels way better.
Mm-hmm.
It's better when you listen to it here in Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like listening to Jimmy Buffett
like
when you're in the
Amarillo
Keys.
by morning.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's a good one. Absolutely.
Hey, Coach Peck did tell me, though, last year you got hurt. You hurt your knee, and it was like early on in the year you've had to come all the way back from that. That says quite a bit about your endurance, your fortitude and resiliency. How difficult has that been, and what does that say about you that you had to bounce back from an adversity like that?
I mean, yeah, I tore my ACL and MCL back in the past season. But yeah, it's been like a long journey, trying to get back. But yeah, it says a lot about like I don't give up and I don't stop for anything. I'm just going to keep coming. Yeah.
Was there a point during that rehab, because you hear stories about whatever anyone has, whatever surgery it is, especially something like that, you're a big guy. Was there ever a point where you just thought it was not going to work?
No, I have faith in myself and I knew God had a plan for me. So I knew I was going to come back.
So, George, it was a pretty big weekend for Baylor. I mean, you committed a few hours ago, and that was like the cherry on top. Jordan Neighbors also committed. They had, a couple guys last week as well. What kind of a sense did you get when being around the team and the fellow recruits and the coaches of just kind of what's being built right now? Do you feel like there's kind of something bubbling under the surface with Dave Aranda and what he's doing with this program?
Yeah, I feel like Coach Aranda is going to turn this around, and Baylor's going to be one of the top teams in the country, if not the top.
What's it like getting to know Dave Aranda?
He's a really good coach. He cares for his team. He focuses on the player over the person over the player. I meant. Yeah.
He has a certain demeanor. He's not a guy that's going to yell and scream. He's not going to be real boisterous, but he can control a room, and he's getting more and more confidence. The first year was hard because of COVID, and the season didn't go very well. It was just kind of a tough deal. When you got a chance to visit with him one-on-one, what did you see in him? What did he show you from those conversations?
I feel like he showed me like a lot about that, his values, like how much he's gonna develop me as a person and a player too. Yeah.
Your mom put up a note, and this has been a while ago. This might have been even last year, but I saw this. I've set the bar for my children that nothing will hold me back. It's a picture of her and also you and your brothers and sisters in front of I think it's like a fountain or a statue, I believe on the campus of USC. This single mama of 5 working full-time is about to get her master's degree from the University of Southern California. No excuses, children. I fight on for you.
She has her master's. She graduated.
She got her master's at USC. What is your mother and what she's represented? What is that? Can you try to give me an idea of what she means to you in the family?
Yeah, my mom means a lot to me. She was always there. She's a hard worker. I think that's where I get most of my hard work from. Her and my dad. She's a really good example for all of us. And I'm just trying to follow it. So, yeah.
The Max Preps website that covers high school sports and many others, the top 10 teams ranked in America, high school football in the last, I guess it was since 2010. Do you know where Bingham is in that list?
No.
They're among the top 10. Among the top 10 around America as far as being ranked. So you play for a program, Dalton Schultz, who's a tight end for the Cowboys, and there's many others now, a handful of players in the NFL. What is the standard to play for Coach Peck and also play at Bingham High?
The standard is what Coach Peck always says. We try to hold ourselves accountable on and off the field, follow the coach's rules, and work hard, and always win state. So, yeah.
Your older brother's at Utah State, right, Bo?
Yeah.
How much did you learn from him?
I learned a lot. We always go 1-on-1 against each other. So, yeah, we would practice against each other.
Well, George, you are another offensive line commit in a class that's been building up some offensive line commits, a handful of guys now. What was kind of the talk with Coach Mateos as far as, his vision and what he and Grimes are trying to do and the class they're trying to build up front?
We're trying to build Could you repeat that?
Yeah, what was kind of the conversation with Coach Mateos like this last weekend, just as far as the offensive line goes and the class they're trying to build? We've got a handful of guys now with you committed as they try to, redo this thing. So what was kind of, the talk with him and about what he sees with this offensive line in the future?
I feel like we got a good coach that's going to lead us, Coach Mateos. I trust him. I trust Coach Grimes' offense as well. I feel like we're gonna make it.
You know that you realize that anytime Baylor gets an offensive lineman commit, we talked to Siraki last week. He was headed to vacation to Florida. That Baylor fans are thrilled to get another offensive lineman commitment. You sense that at all in any way? Has anyone said anything about that to you?
Yeah, everyone. I've gotten so many messages. So I'm really happy.
Are you blown away by? Have you been? What's been the reaction that you've dealt with on social media and others? Just happy for you, but also happy that you're joining Baylor. What's that been like?
Many people are surprised, and a lot of people are happy for me. So, yeah.
Thank you for your time, George. Congratulations. And obviously the pictures show you enjoyed your trip with the family to Baylor. 4 lobster tails in one setting. How many do you think you could eat in one setting?
I think I can eat about good 6. The funny thing is, I didn't know I liked lobster until I had some, then I just kept eating and eating.
Get a little melted butter?
Yeah. Little melted butter.
Oh, my goodness.
So now you know you're a fan of lobsters, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And crab soup.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, nice.
Oh, crab, as you said, crab?
Yeah, it's the best.
Hey, George, thank you very much. Appreciate Coach Peck for helping out with a little information on you as well. Thanks for your time. Congratulations. Enjoy the rest of the summer.
Thank you.
That's George Maile from Bingham High School. He's a big guy. He's not, he's a man of few words, but you could kind of tell a little bit about what he likes and what he doesn't. And the fact is that his mom got her master's from USC. They were in on him. Many were in on him at some point or another. Some really nice big-name schools. That's a pipeline, and if you could find a way to tap into that pipeline in that area in Utah, you're talking about linemen. Not that they don't have skill people, but offensive and defensive linemen.
Yep.
And Siaka Ika may have been, who knows, I don't, but maybe he becomes, in a way, their pipeline with this specific staff to Utah the way Louisiana became a pipeline for the Baylor men's basketball team. I'm not trying to compare Tweety Carter and all that, but you got to start somewhere.
Yeah. I also just got to bring special note to the fact that he's like, George Strait, he's from Texas, right? Yeah. No, that's like going to the Vatican and go, the Pope lives here, right? Yeah. But but it's good. They got, 2 big-time offensive linemen this week, and that's what they need to do. Like I told you guys in the text last week when they had that other commitment, like, okay, 1 down, 22 more to go because they need that depth. They really do. And, when you've got guys who are highly sought-after offensive linemen, that's what they weren't getting before. They were kind of getting, oh, crap, we need some guys. Who's played offensive line? Let's go try and get them.
Yeah, and, I don't really know, their best offensive line classes they've ever had or anything like that, but this one is shaping up to be really solid. We knew it was going to be deep to begin with because that was just what was needed, but you've got George Maile now out of Utah, who's a firm 4-star player, Colton Price, Timothy Dawn out of Arkansas, Caden Siraki, Bryce Simpson. So there's, your 5 guys right there, and you may even get a 6. We'll see. That's not out of the question entirely, but you do have to go address some other positions as well ultimately. But you've got your quarterback. You've got a running back that was on campus this past week in Richard Reese. You picked up a wide receiver where you had been kind of quiet there previously, so now you got your first wideout in the group. You've already addressed tight end, so yeah, I mean, it's shaping up, and it should. I mean, we're halfway through the recruiting cycle, so you should be about halfway through your class or more, and they are now, and I like what I'm seeing. It's shaped up really well. Certainly not expecting a commitment from Maile. Now, the big thing is I see all these tweets about, and they're very in-the-moment tweets about, well, Baylor's got the top 15 recruiting class now. And look, that is something to be excited about, and that is something that does not happen very often. But that is also something as a product of other schools not having a bunch of commits right now, or just not having their push towards the end where they flip a bunch of guys and then jump up 25 spots, So still a ways to go. But the positive of that is that, yeah, it might not hang around in the top 15 or the top 20, but it has the potential to. And they haven't had a class anytime recently outside of maybe one in the last 5 years that's had even that type of potential. So it's really shaping up nicely. I think this staff is showing how adept they are at recruiting, and that this is a strong suit of theirs. That's why you got a George Maile to commit. Now, you got to hold on to him. Like, that's the thing, too, is you got to hold on to him. And, like, that's why, it's cool that they're top 13 now, or they could be here. It doesn't matter to these guys sign. I mean, ultimately. So good to get their commitments, though, and that's what you got to get first, and then you just keep working them and hopefully get their signatures.
Reality is you want to have a class that at least is putting up some whatever list or stars, whatever. Bottom line is, can they play? And you might be ahead of Alabama or Clemson or others right now. That's not going to stay the way. It's not going to happen. I mean, it's just reality. Those teams are going to eventually get their big chunk of you-know-who's, and that's fine. But be in the conversation among the top 25 or 30 classes with what you have, who you are, and what to expect.
And every once in a while, do like you did today with George Maile and beat out Oregon and TCU and USC.
Exactly.
And you win enough of those battles, you're going to have quality players on campus, because those 3 schools aren't all missing evaluations. And he had a lot more offers than that as well. But they're beating some people head up, and they're not just beating SFA and Sam Houston and Texas State like they were for some of their previous linemen, quite frankly. That's a good sign. It's a really healthy sign, and I like the groove that this staff is in with recruiting right now.
When we come back,